Hi. This is Frank Anonymous. I normally hear Julius Malema and Africanist bobble about African nations coming together to form the United States of Africa. Julius Malema argues that the United States of Africa needs to be formed because colonists divided Africa. He is right about one thing. Of course, colonists divided Africa and caused problems but this doesn't mean that the United States of Africa is not a retarded idea. Debunking a retarded idea like the United States of Africa is something that I like. In this video, I will show you why the idea of the United States of Africa is garbage. One of the reasons why the United States of Africa is a retarded idea is because Africa is pretty much a big continent. It would be very hard for anyone to govern a big continent like Africa. It's more realistic to form United States of Europe than in the United States of Africa. One can argue that it's possible to form United States of Africa because the US exists. The problem with this argument is that Africa is a continent that is more than 3 times bigger than the United States with different cultures and languages. Africa is estimated to have from 1250 to 2100 languages. I can't imagine how it's possible to govern entire Africa without a totalitarian state. Considering the size of Africa and the failure of most African nations, the formation of the United States of Africa as a functional state is incomprehensible. Failure of most African nations alone makes the idea of the United States of Africa even more retarded. Can anyone imagine these trash holes governed by corrupt politicians forming a functional state? If African leaders failed to govern their own countries, then who in the world is going to govern the entire continent? How is possible to govern Africa as a whole when most African countries are failed states? The idea of the United States of Africa is nothing more than a fantasy, just like Wakanda. Africa being a human rights hellhole is another reason why the United States of Africa is a retarded idea. I don't know a single country in Africa, except South Africa, that has laws to protect the LGBT+ community. Also, I don't know a single country in the continent that has the First Amendment equivalence or absolute free speech and limited government. Free speech, limited government and protection of sexual minorities and even ethnic minorities is a crucial aspect of a free nation. These aspects are not common in Africa. This tells you that the United States of Africa would be comparable to North Korea and China when it comes to the violation of human rights. Some claim that Julius Malema is a potential candidate to be the President of the United States of Africa. This is mind-boggling. A guy whose political party benefited from VBS bank heist can govern the United States of Africa? If you know nothing about VBS bank heist, it was essentially looting of the bank which led to millions of poor blacks losing their savings due to corruption committed by ANC and EFF politicians. The bank has been shut down as a result. How can a guy whose party benefited from one of the worst heists govern the United States of Africa? To conclude the video, the United States of Africa is a very stupid idea. For the United States of Africa to be possible, African countries should be governed by competent leaders who are going to improve their nations. Another thing that African countries should do is to adapt classical liberal ideas like freedom of speech, limited government and protection of human rights. Otherwise, the United States of Africa as a functional state is nothing more than a fantasy. What are your thoughts about the United States of Africa? Do you think it's possible or impossible for African countries to form the United States of Africa? Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. I have a goal of reaching 1000 subscribers by the end of this year. Bye.